everyone. This is Kathy Mason with Mason Works Marketing on Conscious Business Zone with my friend Rosie Battista. Hi, Rosie.
Hello.
The Queen of Cards is here. And so I put on my little accessory for a while, but I won't keep it on the whole time. But anyway, all hail the Queen. All hail. You deserve. So you deserve this. So everybody, we're going to learn about how card decks can really help you in your business as a small business, or even if you're not a small business, you're thinking about it and you want to be creative. Card decks are so cool. Everyone loves them. And it's not tarot. It doesn't have to have a function. It can just be inspiration. But first, I want Rosie to talk about, and I hope this isn't going to catch you sideways a little, but mental toughness. Because you are to me at 40 years old, I think.
50.
50. Oh my God. At 50, you started weightlifting.
I did.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey? Because that'll help everyone understand why you're so cool. Why
Yeah.
I'm so cool.
Yeah. Well, everyone seems to love this story because it isn't really something you do at 50, right? And it came from one of those dark night of the soul situations where everything just seemed to be falling apart in my life. Like, it's like when you feel like that black cloud and it's like every way you turn is like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I tell the story that I was literally like, you'll get this feeling literally on my basement floor. Like, and I just said, okay, God, I give up. I don't know what the hell to do to get out of this mess I'm in. And I heard enter the bodybuilding competition. So what I did, that's what I did. And it was interesting because, that's why I say now, guard your divine imagination, because people try to talk you out of things that they're scared of too, right? So everyone that I told would say, well, why would you do something so stupid like that? Good luck with that. And, why would you want to do it? And I just kind of ignored everybody. Probably for the first time in my life where I ignored other people's opinions. And I just went and I just did it.
Well,
and yeah.
That honestly, the pictures and everything on your website, I mean, man, you were amazing.
Yeah.
And that had to take a tremendous amount of discipline and focus.
Yeah. And so from that, though, that was a major turning point in my life, in my spiritual growth, because, and I didn't really understand what was happening at the time, right? But because you're so focused and you really have to disconnect from everything and just go within, really, because you have to watch what you're eating. You have to watch your energy. You have to, watch you don't want to lose muscle, right? But you need to lose weight. And so you have to monitor everything. And really, it's kind of an alone journey because you can't go out to eat. You can't go out to party. You have to be home resting and all this stuff. And when I was on that stage, it was literally a download. I felt like this lightning bolt come through me. And this message of, everything you need is already inside of you. Like, you don't need to do anything. And like, oh my God, I got this message. I'm like, everyone needs to know this message. So it really was putting me dumping me right in the middle of a spiritual awakening and a path of just consciousness, like you say. Then, just switching up my whole life. And so it was awesome.
Well, so the reason why I wanted everyone to know that is that I think that a lot of what you do, whatever products you do, whether it's watching your YouTubes or this card deck class that we're going to talk about, everything you do has a little bit of that self-empowerment. You can do it. Go for it. Don't be afraid. It has a lot of that in it because we're the only thing that's stopping ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
But the programs that we grew up in, they just don't serve us in any way. And the ego's trying to keep you safe, but 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 you really are safe.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Saber-toothed tiger coming this way.
yeah. And, going back to talking about what we grew up in, right? So I, got married really young. So I went from parents who kind of told me to shut up, like quiet kids are better than, there were a lot of
Yeah,
us. So
yeah,
being quiet, you're not really, just don't be seen, don't be heard, to my first husband, who was like, I'm the boss in the family. You just take care of the kids and cook, and you don't do anything else. Jumped right into his second marriage, which was another, not great relationship, where I was also silent, and realized when I did this little like journey about myself, I'm like always never using my real voice, because I learned that it wasn't really valuable. And that's what I learned through my life, until the moment that I realized, for all of us, that our voice is our God-given gift, and
perfect,
it is meant to be shared.
perfect.
And when we step into our sovereign, like we're sovereign beings, we're royal DNA, we're divine beings, that I can step into my crown, right? So not just being the queen of card decks, but knowing who I am as, my value and my worth and my divinity.
Right. And everyone has the opportunity by watching your journey to actually experience that as well,
Yeah.
because it's available for everyone. But we do play small. And I think a lot of that was, I grew up in a big family too. There were five of us, and my mom had five kids in 7 years.
That's kind of like we were too.
And there were, I'm number four, and so it was noisy. I ended up being an observer a lot because I couldn't get a word in, believe it or
Mm,
not. Because
right,
I'm getting a
right.
word in. But
Yeah.
I think what happens is there's something about when you're starting to break through those programs that you really thought were survival programs,
Mm,
that there's this like panic. There's this trepidation, panic of, oh my God, will I survive? Like even speaking up for yourself, sometimes it was
right,
like, oh my God, if I speak my truth, what happens? Because my dad used to say stuff like, think before you speak. And it was like,
right. Sure.
it's like, okay.
That's like
How
inside of us.
long?
That's so deep, right?
Oh,
Because
it
you're
is.
learning that when you're a little sponge, when you're just a little girl.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think what's happened is by you showing us your can do, and that you've got a whole bunch of cheerleaders on the sideline, and watching that. And I'm sure your daughters, you have daughters, right?
No, I
Oh,
have I have two
oh,
sons and a daughter.
oh, okay.
And now I have three in 2 years, three grandsons, and another one coming in March. So I'm gonna have four grandsons,
Oh,
which is
that's
yes.
so exciting. Yeah, I saw one of your Christmas pictures with three of them, and it
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
oh,
Oh.
so jealous. I've got two, but they don't live near me.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm so grateful. But also it puts you in a position of like, I wanted to teach my children, and I wanted to like break the cycle with
yes,
my children. And I actually just got my daughter-in-law said to me, Kate says she's so grateful and she really appreciates that you let her be herself growing up. And I was like, oh, I was so happy to hear that she actually
caught
acknowledged
it.
and noticed that I did do that, because I didn't want my kids to, you either do exactly what you were taught, or you say, oh, I'm going to do the opposite of that, which is, sometimes I think I swung too much in the other direction, maybe, but I wanted them to be free spirits, to really to like not just go get a job for the sake of getting a job, but to be free spirits and entrepreneurial, and use their like all of themselves,
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Well, I think we all try to do different things. Because I was a single mom. I got my
Mhm.
daughter by the time she was 6. She was going back and forth between two homes,
Yeah.
and So I just wanted to pay attention. It was like she did band, marching band, and all that stuff.
Mm,
So I was the mom that showed up for everything, and
mm,
that's where, because mine didn't.
right, right.
They didn't.
Yeah,
And you try to do the best you can in your circumstances, but the thing is it's always trying to uplift and inspire, and that's where I feel like we have a common heart thread, because we got that we're here, service to others, it's not
yeah.
just service to ourselves, and we're supposed to have a little fun with it. It's not the serious adulting thing, got way overdone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you think of life as, and I'm just actually really discovering more and more about this because, when we get to a certain point, we can look back and of course we say, oh, I wish I had done things differently.
Right.
We all can say that, but it's about being able to say, but that's okay because
Yeah.
like what a beautiful lesson I was given to be able to be the woman I am today because of those, I don't even want to say mistakes, but those things that happened
Mhm.
along the way that
Uh-huh.
maybe didn't feel so good at the time or maybe from this stage I would have chose differently,
Right.
but be, but I am at this stage because of the way I chose there.
Yes. Yes.
So
Well, in hindsight, everything works out perfectly.
oh
It's
yeah,
this time, because the reason why I wanted to really go into this with you, and I don't want to, we got plenty of time still to talk about the card decks,
yeah.
is that I think that people are really having to make choices now. That
Mm,
they're having to make choices of if they're going to be fearful about everything, or if they're going to take things by the reins.
mm,
The economy's all weird. Everything's real different from the past 3 years. It's almost, it's going on 3 years now.
yeah.
And some people are in terrible grief about it. And there's people like you that are like, your creativity's like sparking here and sparking there, and
Mm,
it's all uplifting, and you're a demonstration of, I'm not playing that game, I'm playing a different game, right?
yeah. I make no agreement with that, right? So we get to, which is amazing. We get to choose and create
Right.
the experience that we want. And it really is about like, because sometimes I'll say, wow, look at how I'll notice how somebody is seeing something and I'm looking at the same exact thing and I'm seeing it a different way.
Right.
And so it's always a choice.
Mhm.
It's we can find the silver lining, we can find the beauty in anything if that's our intention.
Right. Right. Well, what I think you're the poster child for that, for
Well,
me.
I thank you for noticing because you don't know if people notice.
I do. I do. Well, and
Yeah.
the thing is that what you're modeling is modeling something. When you think about the pioneers that came to the US, and I'm in Colorado, and I look at this beautiful mountain range,
Mm,
and those crazy people came from back east on a wagon with a couple of horses and water and maybe two pieces of furniture. I mean, seriously, when you think how tough those people were, and if they were crazy enough to not stop in Colorado and go over those mountains, they're huge. It's a huge range. I
it's
mean, it's
really
not like
unbelievable,
one
right?
little batch of mountains. It's mountains. If you
Mm,
fly over it, it's mountains and mountains. And go to the California for the gold rush. I mean, those people, they when we're like wimps
we are really wimps.
compared to, but
Right. It's true. And we're so used to our like we have so much comforts. And what do they say? Like, uh, hard times make strong men and good times make weak men. So we're kind of experiencing that now of like, and I think the pendulum has to kind of come somewhere in the middle, where we really know like where we don't expect like just like that we show up. Like they
Right,
really
right,
show up.
right.
They-
Well, that there's some benefit and blessing in the engagement, because this is where the other being on your
Mhm.
phone all the time, only with technology
Yeah,
versus being engaged with the
yeah,
earth, growing food, taking hikes and nature walks, seeing how the animals aren't freaking out. They seem to
yeah,
be just fine with everything.
yeah.
So,
And you know, my grandbabies, my 2-year-olds, there's
oh,
two
they
of them that
teach
are two, are
it.
teaching me that big time because it gives me the opportunity too to put my phone away, and just show up. And when I show up with them, I'm just playing with them
Mhm.
and just drawing with them or doing the play-doh or having a conversation in their whatever kind of language they're talking to me in, and just like being there with them and just watching their wonder and their excitement for different things that they're like, oh, and realizing that like there's so much joy in that, and we forget about that.
Right,
You know,
right,
we're
right.
somewhere else or doing 20 things at once or whatever. So that's
Yeah,
been an amazing opportunity for me to pull myself back to really being present, slowing down in like the way that, okay, I don't have to put so much pressure on myself. And so what if it's not done right this second? And it'll be done in exactly the right time that it's going to be done.
right. Well, that's trusting. See, I
I,
think
mhm.
that's when you had your spiritual moment, and that's another um, really important part of all of this is I believe that we all stood in line as souls to get these bodies to be here right now in this
Well, I
time.
kind of ask what if did I really say I wanted to be here right now? Sometimes I say that.
Yeah, well, you know what? You did, and you won
I,
the lottery. I mean,
I
because there were
know.
a lot of beings that
Yes.
didn't get to come. And so the idea of being when Jesus said be like little children, he wasn't
Yeah.
kidding. That's what
No.
the consciousness wants to learn and
Mm.
expand with us. So creativity and imagination are, I think, the most important skills that we
Yeah.
have forgotten. And creativity and imagination is a problem-solving tool.
Yeah.
It's an emotional expression tool. There's
Yeah.
so much that can be benefited by people getting back to that, and
No.
kids do show you that.
Yeah, and imagination is like that's your gift from God because like whatever you can imagine, I mean, if you can imagine it and it's resting on your heart, it was put there and you can achieve that.
That's right.
So it was really like the bodybuilding competition. If that was resting on my heart, and even though I said, in the beginning I was like, "Oh, well, should I, shouldn't I?" Asking people, and I must have asked my son, my older son, a million times, "What do you think I should do?" And finally he says, "Mom, either do it or don't do it, but stop talking about it." And I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Fine." And I went and I booked the date, and then I never looked back again from that.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like it wouldn't go away though, is the point. Like that came to me and it wouldn't go away, even when I tried to maybe talk myself out of it, right? Or looking for the person to say, like, it just wouldn't go away.
That's
So if,
perfect. That's your
yeah,
soul speaking. See, the thing is
that's
that,
right.
and I do these soul illumination readings too. And when usually your soul's been like dropping books or talking to you or putting somebody in your Facebook feed where it's like, where did they come from?
Mhm.
How did I even get here? Who is this person? And then there's this huge resonance. I mean, soul doesn't stop until you are on the right timeline to
Right.
fulfill your mission.
That's
And
right.
and
That's
so,
right.
but you heard it and you acted on it. That's the other part of all of this is,
Yeah,
hey guys, this is show up time. In my
it is.
opinion, it
Oh,
really
well,
is.
we are at that point where everyone has that opportunity right now for sure to
Yes.
wake up and say, "Okay, wait, what really am I here for?" And because we to be here in this time is like, wow.
Well, that's what
It
the
really
I
wow.
think the lockdown was the first part was to really see what you thought about death. because there was this
Yeah.
invisible thing that might get you.
Yeah.
And then so after you kind of go through all of that, which I'm part of the International Association for Near Death Studies. I'm a volunteer,
Mm.
and so I've loved the after the near death stuff. All those people come back and talk
Yeah.
about it. So it's like, okay, I'm cool with that. Um, but you do go, okay, am I ready to go? God, have I done what I thought I was here for? Is there more for me to, how do I better serve? All of that, all of those things come up. And whether
Right.
you're religious or not, it's spiritual. It's not religious. It's a
Right. Exactly.
spiritual
Yeah.
connection. And you get an opportunity to show up with your gift. Whether you're totally aware of it, you just start. You just start what feels like it has happy dance in it, right?
Right. Right. Because also it's not only just that fear of death, but okay, so what if like being that fear of like, okay, so what if I do get sick? What if I like be okay with that? Be okay with whatever happens, but still living your life and not like shutting down and and being so afraid every second. And
Right,
then you're not living at all. So there are
right.
so many different ways to grow
Perfect.
from that experience.
Perfect. That's what I mean is it seems like anxiety is rampant and
Mm,
people are either,
fear.
but you can use, I had a teacher named Candace O'Denver that said anger and fear were the most powerful emotions. If you can redirect them, they're the most powerful creative force in the world. So
Mm,
that's why I wanted to bring it up because
I love that.
what you're talking about, I mean, if people get this, they could have 12 decks done by the end of this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I, the yeah, and the thing is too, like the opening up of your creativity. That's the beautiful thing that I realized as I was going through like these hundreds of women. And when I do interviews with them at the end. And so I started to ask, what did you learn about yourself during the creation process? And I was just blown away by their answers of like their self-discovery and their personal growth that came from really putting themselves into something and getting past the fear of like not being good enough or not smart enough or it wasn't going to come out right. Getting past all of that
Yeah.
to like birth this product that they know is going to live evergreen and it makes them really vulnerable. Just to see the growth in them and the excitement and the joy. And then they're all like, it's like a seed that grows more parts of their business and themselves. So
Right.
that's the really special part, like that I get to help people to unlock that, like where their voice is stuck right here and
Yeah.
then finally let it out.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, so let's segue more. So, and I'm putting up your website if you want me to show it at all. But the idea is that card decks are they're totally inspirational. People, a lot of people like me. I haven't done it today because I was expecting to do it with you, but I pick one almost every morning, and
I'm gonna pick one for everyone.
oh,
I'm gonna put
cool. Okay.
one.
Well, so and at
Yeah,
Christmas you had
I
a free
did.
gift, right?
I had this is it right here. So
Okay, let me make you
my
big. One sec.
yeah,
There we go.
so my this is Christmas connection card deck, 12 days. And what the reason that I did this was so that I could give it to people to kind of like download it, take it to Staples and print it out. It just is a way to give them like a gift, but also to have them think about what is really Christmas about anyway? Why do we love it so much? It's like the connections that we make. And so this is just small little things that we can do. So there's three categories with 4 cards each, one for your partner, one for your kids and grands, and then one for friends and others of things you can do just like that don't really cost you a lot of money or shopping time or anything like that. But as simple as like watching a Christmas movie together and making like homemade popcorn or, paying for the person behind you's coffee in the coffee shop, like little things. but people loved this. I got such a great response, and thank you for the reminder. And so card decks, right, are reminders, their inspiration, their education, their engagement, empowerment. So there's so many, you don't get stuck on the idea that a card deck is like the tarot cards or, you know, um, oracle cards or angel cards. Yes, and so
Right.
much more. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, what I find is that I'm clairsentient, and so I get downloads all the time.
Mm,
But sometimes I'll still have a question, and I use this all the time to
the muscle
even at
testing.
even at the grocery store.
Yeah.
People are like, just get the lettuce. What's wrong with you? But
Mm,
anyway, no, I can't tell which one I really should have. So, but what happens with the cards, they seem to go to a deeper validation point when you pull them, because you'll have even angel cards or I don't do tarot, but I have lots of other cards, and they seem to be, it's like, what do you want me to know? What do you
yeah.
feel what reinforcement do I need for the day? Or what can you validate I made the right choice?
Yeah.
That's what I think. We're still so insecure, even though
Yeah.
we've got these connections. And our angels and guides are like sitting behind us, just twiddling their thumbs, waiting for somebody to say, hey, I could use a little help in here.
Yeah. I mean, that's the magic of it, right?
Yeah,
Because there's never been a time where you pull a card where the person doesn't say, "Oh my God, that was the exact card that I needed right now."
yeah,
So how's that work? It's just that it's like letting you open up to a, another idea that you're blocking, right?
right, right. Well,
So it's
it's like
great.
a book falling off a shelf. I mean,
Yeah, and that's that happens to me
people
all the
will say,
time.
like, when I do a reading that said, oh yeah, a book fell off the shelf with that name in it, and I'm saying that their souls using the
Yeah,
same
right.
title.
Of course it did, is what I like to say.
Yeah, but
Of
you know,
course it did.
if you're not aware that everything here is working for you,
So
and everything's
beautiful.
a gift,
Yeah,
then you're not really looking at what's in it,
yeah.
what's it all about. Because if you feel that this is all there is the seen world, then
Mm.
you're missing a whole bunch of the
Oh,
fun.
a lot. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, and that idea alone, like, everything is working for you.
Right.
And so when you live life that way,
Yeah.
then then it's like whatever happens, you can laugh about it. You can say, "Wow, that was quite an adventure. Maybe I don't wanna go that way again, but, like, that was a cool adventure," and you get to say, "Wow, I really learned, and I really got to see and experience, like, that different way," and then it becomes it's beautiful, and
Right.
it's always us, it's always more to us, like, there's always more,
Right.
and we're always, we're always growing, and so these are uh, fantastic ways when we know that, when we live from that space of, like, everything's happening for me and not to me, victim-y me, right?
Right. Well, and that's nowhere in any of the teachings that I've seen, except maybe the personal development work, like the or spiritual personal development work actually in the 20s, there was a lady named Florence Scovel Shinn.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was those kind of books. But otherwise, there's really not anybody. It's more about, buck up and go through it. And then instead of, hey, surrender, because it's all gonna be, I mean, everything in hindsight always looks fine. So why would
yeah, and
everything there
and
be?
I love that because I'm an evidence collector,
Oh, okay.
and so I keep a list, and I even sometimes just have to sit myself down and say, "Okay, Rosie, when in your life did it ever not work out for the best and for the good?" And there's never a moment, even in my darkest of times, I can actually look back and say, Oh, but that was really for good.
Yeah.
And that is pretty amazing. Oh, thank you. How
I
nice.
didn't mean to put it up yet. I was trying to just put
Oh,
it up, but it might as
yeah.
well now. Sorry.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I have that actually have that deck in my hand right
Oh,
here.
okay. Well, I just
Yeah.
wanted to show the website that we've been putting your URL
Yeah.
here because what you're going to find is I want the discussion about how people can use these in all
Yeah.
different ways too. But here's the page. Here's Rosie talking about it. You are why I created the card deck creation course, and then
Ways
you
to
can.
use it.
Yeah. And then here's this. And I think somewhere I remember seeing a bunch of
Oh,
testimonials.
yeah, right down a little bit lower than you like all the testimonies.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know some of these people.
Yeah. And then there's some little samples of work that are
There's Kelly.
I love because I actually make a guarantee. And I say no one gets out of my course without a card deck. So that's a pretty huge guarantee, right?
Yeah.
Because I say that I give you everything, like including all the mistakes I made, so you don't make them. But I give you my tried and trusted, resources so that you can be successful. And short of me jumping through the computer to come get you wherever you are, like I just want you to succeed. And then that gives me evidence
Yes.
of your amazing creativity. And then I love to share my people, which is what all of my social media is about, just sharing, what the beautiful things that my audience, that my clients, my students have done. And some of them just blow me away by like the way they take it. And I'm all about helping someone create the experience they want for their clients, right? So I create the experience for my people in order to create an experience for their people. And when you come from that point, like when I'm just focused on the experience I want you to have when you go through my course, then it's like, oh, I just want to deliver amazing. And I want you to feel amazing. And I want you to come out with an amazing product that's going to do the same thing for your people. So it's just like the gift that keeps on giving.
Oops. I'm going to add Mia back. I find that what people are doing with these cards is that number one, it's different. So
Yeah.
if you get a gift from somebody that they made, a handmade gift or a personalized gift, it means so much more than just an Amazon book or whatever. Even though some of those are great too, but when you think about the love that was put
Mm,
into the item,
yeah.
it's a different kind of gift,
Yeah.
and
And
it
and I
stands out.
love I love that you just said that, because one of the things I do say is people will say, "Well, I want to put I have all these quotes I want to use like Oprah." And I'm like, "You know what? No offense, but I don't really give a crap what Oprah has to say. I want to know, like, who cares? Like, do we really like, okay, whatever. What is it that you have to say?" And so I have talked so many people out of, like, I'm really insistent about it. And it's amazing that switch and the transformation. I'm like, what are the quotes that you would say about that topic? What would you say? Because your clients have heard you say things over and over, and that's why they come to you for your guidance and support. So, how do you say it in your words, your beautiful, like, extraordinary elixir?
Uh-huh.
Like, like blend that stuff up and then pour out your amazing words and forget, like, I don't care about these other people. And so then the cards are infused with your energy, your intention, your love and support of your community, and it's way different. So
Right,
yeah.
right. It's way more fun
Hmm.
because everyone grew up playing cards, whether
Right.
it was war or
That's right.
whatever you did. So there's something about that tactilness, just like a book.
Yes.
I publish books, so I love.
Yeah.
I'm a bookaholic, I think. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
well, I'm not going to therapy for it. But
It's a good aholic thing.
maybe not.
Yeah.
but anyway, but I really want people to know that this creative assignment, if you take it, will change your life for the better. And Rosie
Yeah.
is, you can see she's having fun. She's making it fun to go through the scary places of showing yourself. The reason why I brought up being a publisher is a lot of times people's first book, it's like a birth of a child.
Exactly. Right.
They're
Right.
very they're very vulnerable. It's really a big emotional threshold,
Yeah.
really, to go through.
Yeah.
And I think what doing it with cards first would be much easier than doing it with a book, which
Yeah.
takes a
You
lot of
know,
time to write.
it's interesting because I have people that do it both ways. So some people will come, they've already have their book, and then they'll make the cards as kind of like
Uh-huh.
either a complimentary or an addendum to. And then I have people that after their cards are like, oh, now I'm ready for my book. But you think about like when you're making a PDF or an ebook, that's awesome, except that you can like take that, you can delete it, like, and then think it's gone. But like when you're making a physical product, it's like out there in the world, and you've invested in the printing of it, right? So there are copies places, so you can't really go back and get everything if you say like, so you have to like be open and willing and like excited about your message, and also trusting that it's saying the right thing to the person that needs to hear it, and that you're sharing this deeper part of yourself in order to inspire somebody else to do the same.
So could you show us some of the ones that examples,
Yeah.
and then also I want to know about packaging.
Hmm.
I think the
Okay.
creative way that you do packaging.
Yeah. So that's one of my things that I love is the packaging part. It's my favorite. As a matter of fact, I'm creating a new course now called How to Make Clients Sticky to You, but it's all about delivering this wow factor in the experience that a person is going to uh, feel when they get the product in their hand. Because, like, we're visual and this product's visual. So you can have packaging, like all different kinds of packaging. I'm going to show you one now that made my, like, when I saw what she did, it just made my heart sing. So it is this, if you can see this, it's just this fluffy, soft, furry bag. And it just, and she has a little charm. And then she has a little card here, which, it shows you exactly what the cards look like on the inside.
Uh-huh.
And this was just to me like, you can tell that she put so much love and attention in all of this.
Yes.
So, like, something about having this deck has so much energy in it. But
Mhm.
you can, so this is just, she used this as a limited edition bag because it's a little more pricey and she wanted to be different. So she had just a couple of these. And then she has a regular satin bag. So people like to use bags because they can stick things in it and then they can change it up. Like here is another card deck, which is all about cosmic law. So her bag has all stars and moons. It's just like perfect.
Uh-huh.
But she's able to put inside of here, like her card deck. One of the things that I have people do is how do you add value to a deck? So it's not just a card deck. It's a process, it's a system. It's you teaching something, right? It's an experience that you're taking people through. So she's got this other little bag in here that has a candle, a charm, a shell, and a piece of sage that you can, have this whole ceremony around. So it's like a kit.
Oh wow, it's like an altar.
It's like an altar, right? So this is an experience. You didn't just buy a card deck that you're gonna, it's you bought an experience.
Cool.
So that's kind of how we do it. This is Lenormand cards, which are another form of like a tarot kind of deck, but the images are really simple, and you can use all 36 cards. There's 36 cards. You can use all of them to kind of tell a story and create a story. So this is like, we have like tins that we can use. And then there's different kind of boxes for people that have courses. This is a great box. And this is an example of my box. You're a rock star, and has writing everywhere.
Uh-huh.
And inside here is my card deck for the people that take my courses, 50 ways to use a card deck.
Cool.
Right. So, but the box is really cute, and, has all little prizes everywhere.
Cool.
And you can put other things in here too, if crystals, charms, like whatever you wanted people to have,
Yeah.
depending on what you were trying to show them. And then there's like hard boxes, which are a little bit tricky to do right now for affordability, like post COVID, like the paper, you can't get the cardboard paper, whatever. And then these kind of boxes that are just these tuck boxes are great and customizable and things like that. So there's so many ways, and like this is only a little tiny sampling of it. I even had some people like one woman that crocheted, and she was crocheting her bags.
Oh my God.
So yeah, special, like talk about special. So there's all kinds of, it's the thing that I like to do is, to your point of me not taking no for an answer. It's like, I don't want to hear that you're not an artist, because I have your solution for that, because that's just bull. That's just crap. I actually had one woman who, she came in with that story, and then she went to Fiverr and she looked at like 5 different artists and she didn't like anything. Finally, she said, okay, fine. I'm going to try to draw something digitally. And she created the front of her cards, and she did like a self portrait of herself. And it's magnificent. So it's like, I just keep poking around, because like that, if you tell me you're not creative, that's just a big fat lie, right? Because that's what we are.
Right.
So we might not have used that skill before, but of course you're creative. So you're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that, you don't have enough content, because that's not true either. I had someone say, I don't have any content. And then she said, well, the only thing that I do is I did a Facebook Live every day for a year. And she had no content. I'm like, okay, right. So, they try, but they don't get away with any of that, right? And then also the affordability thing, because there is like this, and there are some people that might maybe teach it this way, but some people seem to think that it's going to cost you like thousands and thousands of an investment. And I didn't want that to be the stoppage. Like, I don't want money to be the thing that stops you from creating this beautiful product. So I really try to offer affordability and budget options for wherever you are and whatever you can afford to lay out and spend, so that there's less expensive, more affordable ways to package, versus all the way up to like more custom kind of ways. And then also even the printing, like, do you need to have like, do you want to have 1,000 decks?
Yeah.
Or do you want to start like more small printing? And then there's a little bit of a cost factor, but it's also what's available to you right now.
Right. Right.
And so I make it possible for you, if you really want it, to be able to do it.
That sounds great. Well, I'm going to show the website again. And what I want people to realize is that the sky is kind of the limit. That's why I said,
Yeah.
if you take Rosie's class, you're going to find that you could make a deck a month. And because once you get it down of how you've got it, the size of the image, the styles of fonts that you like, I mean, you're going to have your own preferences that really might match your logo, or might match your branding colors. So you're going to be able to do this, and people love decks. I mean, men and women. It's not just women. I mean, a lot of your testimony.
Oh, I have a lot. I do have a lot of men, and they do
Lou is on
great things. Yeah, Lou, and I just had another guy that's it's from Worrier to Warrior, and he's got a whole course around this deck, and it's great. It's fantastic. So there's so much anything is possible. If you scroll all the way down, you can kind of pull up where the different right below that. There we go. So these are all different kinds of card decks, right? So there's like a stepmom coach and a walking coach, and like all kinds of.
Oh, I get all kinds going. Wow.
Yeah, keep going. And they're all so beautiful and also different. And that's the thing too, is like, I've never had anybody come in and say, oh, everybody has this. It's everyone's is so different, just like books. It's it, it's they're
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. I love it. I love the fun of it. I love the idea that that people are going to have a huge personal growth opportunity with it because
Yeah.
Coach Queen. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
this is one lady that knows how to push through your fears and just go do it. And
Yeah.
so,
I'm really like, even in like when we have the groups, I'm like, uh you're not allowed to live in your story of limitation at all. Like it's just not this, we don't do that. We
yes,
don't have that because that's just a big fat lie. Like it's not true, right?
right.
So why play around? I want to play there. I want to play like share your card deck in our group. That's what I want to play with. I want to play
Well,
with the cards.
yeah, you want to build the creativity and the power within people.
That's
And
right.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it really, it comes down to like my whole message in life, my whole reason for being in life, which I finally got it down to this like word, is that like your God-given voice is your gift.
right.
That is your gift and it is meant to be shared. That is why you have it. And so when you are not using it, when you're playing it small, when you're afraid of it, like you're not living full on in life. And that's when you get sick, when you get old, when you get like lose your energy and your vitality, is
Yep,
because you're we're meant to speak our truth. We're meant to share
that's right.
our stuff.
That's perfect, perfect. And the other part about this is that you have to know when you watch these little kids, your grandkids,
Hmm.
that when they start trying to walk, they don't fall down twice and go, oh, I guess I'll never do that. They just keep, failure is part of the journey. And these, you're not going to let them fail very far, but you might let them experience stinking thinking or something for a little while so they have a contrast. But you're not going to, the whole reason to take a class with Rosie is she's going to hold your hand as you go through something brand new, so there'll be very little chance of failure.
Oh yeah. I mean, if I say if you would love to make a card deck, then come join me to make it, because I would love to be supporting you and you, the cheerleader for your authentic voice and the
Yeah.
cheerleader for your creativity. And if something that you would love, then you can do it. Let's just do it.
Yep.
If it's not, if you don't want to do it, then that's fine too. But then just own that. But like half in, half, well, that doesn't
Yeah.
work for anything, right? It's like
Right.
when you make your decision, you can go all in. It's like I think about you since we started with the bodybuilding competition. Like I literally made the date, and here was this little bling, like little velvet blingy thing that barely covered everything, but there it was. And I'm like, I am going to on this date stand in that thing on this stage in the
Wow.
audience with lights and cameras and all that on me. I better show up every day. Like I knew that all I could do was that every day I show up as my best in order to like to be on that stage.
Right.
And so that was like I just knew that is what I would do every single day, and I couldn't think like long term or how many weeks it took or whatever months it took. I just had to think about that day. Am I doing everything today towards that? And
Right.
that's kind of how you can, like, that's a life lesson, really.
Right, right. I was trying to find a picture of your bodybuilding to bring on, but I
I
didn't
think
find it.
I might be able to
Yeah,
do
but I don't know if I can get it
Oh,
so
okay.
easily. So yeah, I
Okay.
was from the way this is set up. So,
Okay.
but anyway, maybe next time we'll do this. Well,
Yeah.
well, what we're hoping is that as you go into 2023, you see all the ways that you can serve yourself and others, and by serving
Mhm.
others, you do serve
Oh,
yourself.
yeah.
That's the way all of this is set up. I've been in this business for 22 years. I still learn every day from my customers. I'm not cooked yet, so I know that the journey that you could go on with Rosie, not only will you get a different perspective of life, but you will get to have like a milestone
Oh,
done,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. Yep.
Yep. And 2023 is whatever you want to make it. Back in the Great Depression, there were more millionaires made then than any time in the world. And why? Because they weren't frozen. They acted. And so
Right.
what Rosie shows you is this might be one of your first steps towards acting to show yourself completely. You
Mhm.
are your brand. You
Yeah.
are your brand. You don't have to copy anyone else. You are funny enough, different enough.
Right.
Yeah, we're examples of that. That you don't really have to model somebody else's brand. You just have to have the bravery, which you can see Rosie found that she found a way to bodybuild. I mean, honestly, I didn't realize you were 50. I thought you were 40. And then it was like,
No,
oh, I
50
was great.
and for at 50 and 40 pounds overweight. Maybe that's where you got the 40. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So again, we I just did a 3-day event where the people put what they were grateful for 2022 and what they're
Mm.
inspired about for 2023. And I was just sharing the 2023 idea, but do you have anything that you'd like to add about gratitude for 2022 and
Oh.
inspirations for 2023?
So I would say my gratitude for 2022 is my deepening of my creative power in the universe, of creating the experience that I want for my life. And
Perfect.
so for 2023, I have decided that my word is experience because it is what is the experience? Like I'm deepening the experience that I want my clients to have when they engage in anything that I'm doing, whether it's a video or a course or reading my email. And then like so what experience do I want to help them create in order to serve the world as well?
Perfect, perfect. And that's what we all are here for. And again, I'm hoping that you'll go to Rosie's website and really get to know her because you'll see how much fun this journey can be. You don't have to worry about it is a journey, and you will see yourself changing perspectives, but every day you wake up you can be a new person. You can
Yeah.
choose to be that stronger person. You don't have to do bodybuilding at 50.
No, you do not. I saved you from that because I got the download. It's like, you don't have to do this. You already have everything you need inside you. So
Yeah,
there, I did it for you guys. I did it already. So move on to your amazing stuff.
yeah, well, after Christmas with all this sugar and all this food,
Yeah.
I'm wearing my fat pants today.
Oh no. Thank God we have them, right? So we can look at it that way. Thank God you have an extra pair lying around.
Yeah, yeah, they're clean too. But
Yeah.
anyway, I think that's what I was hoping, that people would be inspired to see what's out there, to get the feeling of the fun that this can all
It's so
be,
fun.
because
Yeah.
this is not like work. This is you get
No.
to do this, not got to do this, right?
Yeah, and you know what, Kathy, too, one of the things that I say is that people, if the biggest thing they say to me all the time, everyone, "Oh my God, this was so fun. This was so fun. I want to make another one. This was so fun."
Yeah.
So that's like the goal. It's like there's no tediousness along the way because the way we go through the journey is like this is fun and this is fun and it's exciting and you make different choices and it's just all just like allowing yourself to just blossom.
That is so perfect. And why not, right?
That's right.
Everything that you do, if you trust your miraculous self, if you
Mm,
trust that you're in connection and everything's for you, have some fun. Don't play into the big deal fear swirl that's out there, go in and see what's mine to do, how can I serve, and you'll see just even writing these inspirations will fire you up.
That's right.
It'll change the way you think.
That's right. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank
Perfect.
you.
Well, okay, so how's the best way? I've been showing your website. How is the
Yeah.
best way for everybody to connect with you? Because because it's honestly, guys, you're gonna want to keep an eye on what Rosie's doing, because who knows what next big thing.
Yeah. So I actually have if you go to my website,
Uh-huh.
rosiebattista.com, or I can give Kathy the link and we'll put it in the Facebook group. I have a free 250 ideas for you to start thinking about of what your card deck could be about. So that's kind of fun to get the inspiration going. And then once you get that, then you'll kind of be in my world. And you'll get my emails about when I do card deck parties where I feature my students and they pull cards and we have a lot of fun. And I do, trainings and things like that. So you can kind of
You
if you go down just a
you
little
you
bit,
also have this where shuffle
there you
cards
go.
for today.
Yeah, you can shuffle the cards. And then right below that, you see 250 ideas. Right below that. There you go. Get your
There you
free
go.
250 ideas.
Yeah.
And so that's a great way to kind of get yourself introduced to, like, if you're thinking now, well, maybe I have too many ideas. That's normal. Or I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick. That's normal. Or, oh, I don't think I have an idea. They're all normal. But the point is that I have this brainstorming process where we get you clear on the one you should start with and the one that's going to make the most, make you feel the most excited and joyful, because that's the one that's going to make the best product that's going to help your people, because it's filled with no anxiety and no, anxious energy in your cards. We wanted them to be filled with
Love, love,
love
love,
and
love. Yep. That's
exactly.
what that you'll see. Anything that you're gleeful, like a little kid with, that you've created is going to have a higher love frequency. And when you gift it, or when you even play, even if it's selfishly just for yourself, it doesn't matter.
It
I
doesn't.
mean, no, it doesn't, because metaphysically we're all one anyway,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
But this is really a gift that keeps on giving. This is something that people will use for year after year. They may release books and stuff, but I think I still have almost every card deck I've ever had. I mean, and it's ridiculous because I think.
Don't tell. You have books and card decks. I know that's me too. I'm like, my card deck has taken over half my bookshelf, my card deck pile. But you know what?
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, it is.
It's
It's inspiring and fun. And being a little kid is part of what all the delightful creations. When you think about most of the great um, discoveries that have been made in the past 100 years, a lot of them have been made. Einstein used to go take a nap. Edison kept going and kept going and kept going. I mean, there's lots of people that we can use to model on our journey, and Rosie's one of them. So I hope that you guys will go to her website, and they can find you also on Facebook and YouTube, right?
And YouTube under Rosie Battista. Every place that you can find a person, I'm Rosie Battista. But one thing I do want to mention, on Instagram under Queen of Card Decks is where I have my card deck portfolio.
Oh, okay.
All students' work, and that is really fun and inspirational, and you can get tons of you'll be really inspired if you go there. So it's Queen of Card Decks on Instagram. Follow me over there, and I do a lot of reels and a lot of sharing of the decks and stuff, and it's great. It's really great. It's fun.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'll have to make sure I'm friends with you on Instagram. Yeah. Well, thank you. This has been a royal moment.
So fun.
So thank you so much, and hope to see you more this year.
Yeah, that's on our intention list. I like that, Kathy.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right, thank you.
Thank you, Rosie.
All right, bye.